Shalom, miserable humans! Well, as all of who use the internet know, we finally have a proper teaser trailer for Moana 2, and boy do I have a lot to say. Now before anyone says anything, yes, I'm aware that this is just a teaser and there isn't much to be seen. However, a teaser is still supposed to capture our curiosity and make us want to see it, and this movie has some things going against it. If you enjoy the teaser, I'm happy for you, and I hope you'll end up not being disappointed. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't be allowed to critique it. This is a movie that is pretty infamous for being a cinematic movie that is implementing a strategy that some of Disney's direct-to-video sequels have done, taking a bunch of episodes from our direct-to-TV series and turning it into a full-length movie. We've seen this with Belle's quote-unquote magical world, Cinderella 2, Dreams Come True, and Atlantis, Milo's Return. What's the difference here? Well, this is given more of a budget, so the animation does look mermazing. In fact, I'm gonna start with the positives before I get into my critiques of the teaser, and the first praise is definitely the animation. It actually improved on the original, with things looking even more detailed with the ocean and Moana's hair. This film looks gorgeous. So I'm glad that despite it taking episodes from a cancelled TV series and making it into a movie, it doesn't actually look like it. It actually looks cinematic and polished. I am kinda cringing at all the work that the animators had to do in such a short amount of time to make it look this good, since Disney has been known to exploit its workers. I also really love Moana's design and how they've shown that she not only has a new outfit but actually looks older, since this is supposed to be set 3 years after the events of the original movie. I love how her hair is even styled differently. It frames her face mermazingly. Plus, it's interesting how her top and skirt are the reverse colors of what they were in the original movie. I also love the designs of the marine life. The whale looks absolutely majestic and ethereal. Not to mention the giant mouth monster looks really unique, and like it'll be a great obstacle for Moana to face. The instrumental music is also really great, and makes me feel like I'm in the same movie as the first one. I love when sequels stick to the same style as the previous film. I also thought the moment with the little crab was cute, even if it didn't really have much of a point. It was still adorable and shows off the breathtaking animation. Not to mention the Polynesian culture is being shown beautifully, at least based on my limited knowledge of the culture. However, my positives unfortunately end there, so let's dive right on in. It's probably the skeptic in me, and the fact that many times in the past Disney's more recent anime films have disappointed me and not really captured the Disney magic like they used to, the original Moana included. Don't get me wrong, the original Moana is a great movie, but it has some issues that hold it back. One being Maui's poor character development and just being an unlikable character. And the second is the humor, which I fear is also going to be the case with the sequel. I've recently done a video about Disney's humor problems, so check that out if you want a more detailed critique about that. But to say it as briefly as possible, Moana suffers from the same forced, contemporary, and dated humor that a lot of Disney's more recent films have, and they usually happen during serious moments, which makes the film feel more juvenile than anything else instead of powerful. Moana's ridiculous, adorable, quirky girl personality, Maui's meta humor, Hey being stupid, and Tamatoa being Tamatoa among other things. Now, I'm not saying that a movie shouldn't have jokes, as they provide some relief that keeps it from being too serious and add an extra layer of enjoyment. However, Moana 2 isn't displaying the best humor with it showing Hey doing his stupid gag of being stupid. It doesn't help that it's happening during what appears to be a serious scene that ruins the impact. Not to mention Maui coming back with his boat snack joke and now wanting to eat pua. Now, maybe this is just a one-off joke and not something that will be consistent throughout the film like in the original, but knowing Maui, I doubt that's the case. Also, I get that they are adding pua because of how they got criticism for not including him in Moana's journey in the last movie, despite how heavily marketed he was. However, I'm just not sure what he's gonna add to the film other than cutesiness. He'll most likely contribute more than hey, but that's not saying anything. Speaking of which, I'm concerned about Maui and what exactly he'll add to the story of Moana's journey in this movie. I know he was an essential part of the original movie, so he had to come back for the sequel, but I'm not sure what he could add other than maybe saying what magical or dangerous obstacle they are encountering is. Basically, I'm afraid that since there's not really any reason for him to be essential to the sequel, that they will just use him for gags and possibly exposition dumping. Plus, considering I'm not a fan of Maui in general, who despite the efforts of The Rock is just an unlikable character, I'm not looking forward to seeing him again unless he's less of a jerk and they tone down his humor significantly, which I highly doubt. I'm also kind of hoping that Moana will have lost her adorable and ridiculously quirky personality. I mean, 3 years have passed, so it's not exactly unrealistic that she's matured since then. She can have some quirks, but make her more distinct and less like a clone of all the other heroines from the revival era, especially since her adorable, quirky, awkward, and comedic personality would make even less sense for her character in this movie. I highly doubt that will end up of happening, but I can hope. Also, I see that Moana now has a little sister who is undeniably adorable, but I'm wondering what the point is. It's reminding me of Sophia from Disenchanted and how her inclusion is pointless to the story. Plus, considering she's not likely to be traveling with Moana due to her age, why introduce a younger sibling to begin with? Now, what I am saying is just speculation, since I'm just going off a trailer that is less than 2 minutes long. Plus, I will admit that a lot of the speculation is due to Disney's track record with not only their animated movies, but also other projects in recent years that have been less than stellar. There's just a lot working against this film and this teaser. While not bad by any means, it hasn't really swayed my opinion. It can't be ignored that this is a blatant cash grab due to taking episodes from a cancelled TV series and turning it into a movie. Until a few months ago, we didn't even know that a sequel was happening, and now we have a proper teaser for it. Lin-Manuel Miranda also isn't returning to do the songs of the film. I will admit that I'm not the biggest fan of his work, since he is responsible for causing the popification of Disney's animated musicals, but his songs were undeniably a major reason why the original movie was such a massive success. So it's kind of baffling that he won't be returning. I highly doubt that the songs will be quite as successful, since he is being replaced by Abigail Barlow and Emily Bear of Bridgerton fame. Not exactly the most qualified for a Disney musical given their very pop style. Also, with the original directors John Musker and Ron Clements not returning to direct the film due to Musker's retirement, that doesn't exactly bode well. If you don't recognize their names, they also directed The Great Mouse Detective, The Little Mermaid, Aladdin, Hercules, Treasure Planet, and The Princess and the Frog. So yeah, the new directors have really big shoes to fill. Those directors are David Derrick Jr., Jason Hard, and Dana Miller in their directorial debut. I don't want to judge too harshly because a lot of the times new talent can surprise you, but it can also be an issue due to their inexperience showing. And plus, with there being 3 of them in charge, that could be a case of too many cooks in the kitchen. Plus, as we've seen with the likes of Disenchanted, changing directors and screenwriters can often be disastrous. Not to mention that the plot sounds like a rehash of the original movie. Moana gets a call from her wayfinding ancestors to sail across the ocean to embark on a journey unlike any she's ever had before. Apart from some slight differences, how does that not sound like a redo of the original? Is there gonna be a legit villain this time? I doubt it, because that's something they would show in the teaser, especially since we want Disney to be doing legit villains again and not twist villains like Taka or lame villains like Magnifico. But I highly doubt that we're gonna get a real villain in this movie. I'm aware that what I'm saying has nothing to do with the teaser itself, but it's just a problem with Disney in general and that they are missing their Disney magic. Part of that is the lack of 2D in their films, but other factors being the humor, repetitive personalities, and clearly doing what the businessmen think will make money despite the lack of creativity. Walt Disney himself once said that they don't make movies to make money, they make money so they can make more movies. He was a risk taker who almost went bankrupt several times just to bring his creative visions to life. I feel like he would be disappointed that his company has become such a sellout. If you want more details on this, I highly recommend Modern Girl's video on Moana 2 and the death of Disney. Now, I'm not against sequels, and Disney has made some great sequels like The Rescuers Down Under, the first 2 Toy Story sequels, The Incredibles 2, Return to Neverland, and Frozen 2. Tartarus, Lady and the Tramp 2 Scamp's Adventure is one of my favorite Disney movies. I'm also not a fan of the expression that this movie didn't need to exist, because technically no movie quote-unquote needs to exist. The movie being good is what justifies its existence. However, I can't help but think that this movie is gonna feel like corners have been cut due to how they are taking a cancelled TV show and trying to work it into a movie. But the movie hasn't come out yet, so there's no way of truly knowing if it'll be good. Unfortunately, there's still a lot working against it, and nothing in the teaser has made me think otherwise, other than the animation, but that just means that it could be a film with more style than substance. I'll still be checking it out to see if it's any good, but I just have a feeling. And those are my thoughts on Moana 2 and its teaser. What do you guys think of Moana 2? Did you enjoy the teaser? Did you enjoy my video? Let me know in the comments. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. You can also check out my other social media accounts in the links below. I'm the Wicked Merman from Under the See ya!